Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to Fabrizio Romano, Man United are in direct contact with Eduardo Camavinga. Romano also said that Manchester United love Eduardo Camavinga, and he says Manchester United are interested in him. Rennes want to sell Camavinga for around £30 million. His current contract at Rennes expires next year. It recently said we've been dealt a blow in our pursuit of Camavinga, as his preference is a move to Spain over Manchester United. Now, Manchester United have Kieran Trippier transfer agreement. Kieran Trippier expects any Man United move to materialise towards the end of the transfer window. Trippier has arranged for his family to relocate back to Manchester. Atletico Madrid want 30 million for Trippier. We've already had 2 offers rejected for Trippier. Now, Neil Custis from The Sun said a few weeks ago that Manchester United are close to signing Kieran Trippier for around £18 million. And just after that, it said Atletico Madrid won't sell Kieran Trippier to Man United. The other week, Trippier was in talks over buying Raheem Sterling's £3 million mansion. We went in for Trippier back in the January transfer window, but we culled our interest because Trippier got banned by FIFA for 8 weeks for breaching betting rules. Trippier's current contract at Atletico Madrid expires next year. Atletico Madrid paid £20 million for him from Tottenham back in 2019. But yeah, it would be very beneficial if we could recommend him in, because Trippier is a right back and he would provide competition for Wan-Bissaka. He's highly experienced and of course he's proven in the Premier League. He won the La Liga with Atletico Madrid last season. So yeah, there's a chance that Trippier will be our next signing. As you all know, Manchester United now have to sell to finance more incomings. There's been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. Manchester United definitely need a centre defensive midfielder. Now, obviously, we've been linked with Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Solniguez has a gentleman's agreement in place with Atletico Madrid, which means he could join Manchester United or Liverpool. We've identified Solniguez as a potential replacement for Pogba. It says Man United will open talks with Atletico Madrid over signing Solniguez if Pogba decides to leave the club. We think Atletico Madrid would accept £50 million for Niguez. Sky Sports said that Manchester United are exploring a move. Mundo Deportivo said the other week that Man United were in advanced talks with Niguez's agent, and it said Man United were the frontrunners to sign him. Niguez has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's been with them since 2008, so he's been at Atletico Madrid a good 13 years or so, risen up their academy. He's got a contract until 2026 because back in 2017 he signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid. He has a release clause of 129 million. He can be deployed as a central midfielder or a defensive midfielder. We've been linked with Ruben Neves from Wolves. I'd certainly take him at Manchester United. Narratives were coming out the other week saying that Man United moved ahead of Arsenal in the race to sign Ruben Neves, and it says Wolves are willing to sell him for £35 million. I'd certainly take Ruben Neves at Manchester United, because if he comes to us, I'm convinced he'll replicate what he's done at Wolves, and he's Premier League proven, which is beneficial. Ruben Neves has got a contract with Wolves until 2024. He's made 151 appearances in the Premier League for Wolves. Wolves paid 15.8 million for him from Porto, was it back in 2017. Wolves, don't forget, lost Diego Jota last year to Liverpool, and Wolves haven't been the same team since they lost Jota. They also lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham. Declan Rice, he's also on Manchester United's agenda. Leon Goretzka, Manchester United have also been linked with him, and as you all know, we're in for Eduardo Camavinga. Solskjaer did make it clear that he wants to make around 4 signings in this summer transfer window. But Manchester United are enjoying a very good summer transfer window because, Solskjaer is getting the players that he wants to recommend in. This is the best transfer window Man United have enjoyed for a long time. Solskjaer is finally getting the backing he deserves because he wasn't backed enough for such a long time. We have made 3 signings so far in this summer transfer window. Brought Tom Heaton in on a free transfer from Aston Villa. Brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund. We confirmed the signing of Jadon Sancho last Friday, and we brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid. Solskjaer has spent over 100 million so far in this summer transfer window. This summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. I certainly think now, with Rafael Varane and Sancho here, we are going to be title contenders next season. But yeah, we've got a good squad now with Sancho and Varane in it. Initially we had a decent squad before them two came in, but obviously it wasn't good enough to win the title. You know, you've got Dean Henderson, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. Dean Henderson did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. And Henderson's got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. And before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Tom Heaton, he's a decent goalkeeper. You know, he's endured a good pre-season for Man United. Heaton was vocal again in the 2-2 draw with Brentford. Didn't have really much to do in the 4-2 defeat to QPR, and in the first pre-season friendly against Derby he made 2 or 3 excellent saves. A lot of United fans are saying Tom Heaton should be in goal for the game against Leeds. David De Gea, I still rate him, despite him making quite a lot of mistakes in the last couple of years. I want David De Gea to leave Manchester United this summer, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to remain at the club for this season. It did say a few weeks ago that David De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place. It did say as well that De Gea could be loaned out for next season to make room in the goalkeeping department, but De Gea said he's determined to fight for his future. Being a long servant at Man United, he's endured 10 years at the club. So he's been with us since the Ferguson era. I said he's had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been here. You know, a few years ago he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world because he's won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. He was our number 1 for such a long time. David De Gea's got just under 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. If we was to sell him in this summer transfer window, or even January, I reckon we'd get from between 40 to 50 million pounds. I said when David De Gea leaves Man United, there's a very good chance he'll go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, and his girlfriend's from Spain. He began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, his move to Madrid didn't materialise. Luke Shaw, he's obviously a very, very good left back. Luke Shaw was our best player last season, and I thought Luke Shaw enjoyed a good tournament with England. Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Shaw's been a long-serving player at Man United. He's been at the club over 7 years now. And I reckon he's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that Man United are in the process of extending Luke Shaw's contract. I think Shaw's just got under 2 years left on his current contract. We paid, was it around 30 million for Shaw from Southampton. Harry Maguire, he's good. You know, he's had good games at Man United. He's also had bad games. I thought he did well though for England during the tournament, to his credit. Maguire was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he did have that ligament damage in his ankle. I think now we're going to get the best out of Maguire, because obviously Varane is going to be playing alongside him. What a fantastic centre-back partnership that is, you know. Varane and Harry Maguire, you know, are going to complement each other very well in our back line. We overpaid for Maguire though. We got him in a deal worth 80 million from Leicester. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. Eric Bailly, you know, he's a decent centre-half as well. But my only concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There is an option of a further year. Bailly's future is now in doubt following the arrival of Varane. I still reckon Bailly's going to remain with us for next season. I'd keep him anyway as a backup. So if Varane or Harry Maguire get injured, then Bailly is available. Bailly's been with us over 5 years. We paid 30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016. And like I said, Raphael Varane, he's a world-class centre-half. I think at Man United he's going to replicate what he did in his years with Real Madrid. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. You know, Varane has got a great pedigree as a player. You know, he's won a lot of trophies, you know, like La Ligas and Champions Leagues. Back in 2018 he won the World Cup with France and he's won 79 caps. He was a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He endured 10 years with them. He made 360 appearances in all competitions. And his current contract at Real Madrid was due to expire next year. Real Madrid did get Varane from Lens back in 2011. We went in for Varane back in 2011 under the Ferguson era. And we also went in for him in 2018 because don't forget Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. For a Real Madrid perspective, they'll be pretty disappointed. You know, they've lost 2 key centre-halves now. You know, they lost Sergio Ramos not so long ago. He joined PSG on a free. And obviously they've now lost Raphael Varane. They're going to have to get replacements at Madrid. The news broke out on Tuesday that Man United confirmed that they reached an agreement with Real Madrid to sign Varane. Yes, it is subject to a medical and player terms being finalised. Both clubs agreed an initial fee of 34 million. Could rise up to 42 million with add-ons. Varane has agreed a 4-year contract with Manchester United. There's an option of a further year. We've doubled Varane's wages. He will receive £250,000 a week at Man United. I'm not too sure what shirt number he's going to be wearing. Looks like now he's not going to be wearing the ideal shirt number, which is number 4. Varane will fly to Manchester, it said later on this week. Varane's Man United medical has been delayed by quarantine restrictions, so I think he'll be having his medical next week at some point. It'll probably be early next week. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also a very, very good right back. Defensively, he's always been superb, but Bissaka has got to show more attacking intent. That's what's letting him down at the moment. But there again, in the 2-2 draw at Brentford, he did show some good attacking intent, and at times he got in some good positions, assisted Andres Pereira's. Sorry, it was Ante Elanga's goal, he assisted. But he's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. We got Bissaka for £50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. McTominay, he's also a decent player, but he's not yet on that level where I want him to be at. He certainly needs more time at the club. McTominay's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Paul Pogba, he's really improved. Pogba produced his best performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season. But at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. Now, there's a good chance that Pogba is going to depart Manchester United this summer. PSG have held talks with Paul Pogba's representatives. PSG are willing to offer £45 million. Not so long ago, Pogba was discussing the personal terms with PSG, and he said Pogba is close to reaching an agreement to join PSG. PSG want to partner Pogba alongside Wijnaldum in their midfield. A few weeks ago it actually said Pogba wants to join PSG this summer, and PSG are planning to put some of their players up for sale to get Pogba on the board. Reports came out yesterday saying that Mino Raiola has offered Liverpool the chance to sign Paul Pogba from Man United this summer. Mino Raiola has made Liverpool aware that Pogba could be signed this summer, but Liverpool have indicated to Mino Raiola that they're not interested in signing him this summer, but they'll consider going in for him in January. It depends on the contract situation. Liverpool lost Wijnaldum, so obviously Liverpool are now looking for an adequate replacement for him. I can't see Pogba going to Liverpool. But Paul Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga, hasn't he? He's also been linked to Real Madrid, he's been linked with his former club Juventus. He did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Barcelona have been in for him, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Pogba rejected a new contract at Manchester United last week, was it? He said Pogba rejected a new £50 million contract offer at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's set to leave. Sky Sports mentioned that Pogba is increasingly unlikely to sign a new Man United contract. Solskjaer did say Man United still remain in talks with Pogba's representatives over a new contract. Pogba's current contract expires next year because last season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. It said Paul Pogba sets decision date. He's unwilling to make a decision on his future until next summer. Pogba reportedly told his Man United teammates that he's made his decision whether he's staying at Man United or signing for PSG. He told the Man United squad that he's waiting to finalise details with Man United. Man United stars are working hard to persuade Pogba to stay. He's enjoyed 5 seasons at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club. At the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. Mino Raiola has been working hard to get Pogba out of the club. He did a lot of talking last season. He made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba. He said Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of extending his contract. Ollie was furious with Pogba's agent's announcement. Bruno Fernandes, obviously he's very, very good. He's one of our best players and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games, he's been very, very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace, but let's be honest, we have overplayed him. Fernandes has been with us now over a year and a half. Fernandes won Player of the Year last season and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fabrizio Romano said a few weeks ago that Man United are looking at a new contract for Bruno Fernandes. It said towards the end of last season we was willing to double Bruno Fernandes' wages to £200,000 a week. Mason Greenwood, he's also very, very good. He's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Despite him going a long period without scoring, Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. Last season signed a new 4-year contract with Man United. Greenwood's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. Greenwood can play on the right, he can also play centrally. Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. I'm glad he's staying for this season. Fabrizio Romano said towards the end of last season that Cavani agreed a 1-year contract. Marcus Rashford, he's also good when he wants to be, but there's aspects of his game that have got to improve. Rashford has endured his bad periods at Man United. He's also become injury prone. He's out until October with a shoulder injury because don't forget Rashford decided to undergo shoulder surgery. We need to keep Rashford out on that left because that's where he seems to be more effective. You know, Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. But there is players at Manchester United that are not good enough to represent the club. Lindelof, he isn't good enough to represent the club. And I've got my strong reservations about Lindelof because he's always been a static centre-half. He's too predictable and he makes too many mistakes. I think we should sell him now anyway with the arrival of Raphael Varane. We got Lindelof for 31 million from Benfica back in 2017. Jones, he's not good enough either. Jones lost his place in the team a while ago, but he's always been inconsistent. But Jones now could be staying, reflecting on what Solskjaer's recently said. Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. He's endured 10 years at Man United, so yeah, he hasn't played since January. So we need to sell him. Delort isn't good enough. I think, you know, he needs to go. He was out on loan with AC Milan last season. Matic isn't good enough either. I think Man United need to offload him. I think we've also got to offload Fred because he isn't good enough. We overpaid for Fred. We got him 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Martial, we've also got to offload him because he's no longer good enough to represent the club. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.